It's another episode of Frankly Cigars. Today we're joined by Warren Hayes, founder, president, CEO, general liaison of Shades of Faces. Um, Thanks for joining us, Warren. You got anything that you want to get off your chest before we start the questions?
First and foremost, appreciate you inviting me to this establishment. Sit down, have a cigar. It's good to do business with friends and friends that do business.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, Shades of Faces clothing line.
Got a website?
Yes, you can go to Shades of Faces. Actually, go to Instagram and go to Facebook. Go to shadesoffaces.com, and you can look at all our garb, our wear. We have everything you could think of, from belt buckles to socks to hats to sweatsuits to coats, and something for your old lady. So just check us out. And also, we'll be having some more fundraisers coming up. And also, appreciate everybody that came out to Veterans Cigar Lounge for our sip and smoke after you vote. So we will have more events and more money given to scholarships.
Outstanding. All right. The reason that we're here is to have a visual record of your cigar journey. There's some guys and ladies that we've lost that can't do this with us. So it felt like it was paramount to me to kind of get you down and get you through the 10 questions and figure out what's going on with the CEO of Smiling Shades of Faces. So when did you smoke your first cigar?
I smoked my first cigar probably 2011.
Wow.
2011.
Okay. Do you remember what it was? Or?
Actually, I don't remember, but I can tell you I was at Georgetown Tobacco.
Okay.
Georgetown Tobacco.
So shout out to Georgetown Tobacco. Do you have a favorite drink to pair with your cigars?
Currently, I like to indulge with Remy Martin 1738. It's consistent. I can get it with ice or have it neat.
Okay.
And it works perfect.
Do you ever mix it with anything, or it just kind of stays by
You can.
itself?
I just recently started mixing it with lemonade.
Okay.
Which is actually more refreshing than cranberry juice or ginger ale or anything else. But if you pair it, I would say just get it on ice and drink it as such. And my secondary drink, you're gonna love this. You're gonna love this one. It's called Rabbit Hole Derringer. Definitely just on ice. Don't mix it with anything.
Yeah.
Love it.
It's not needed. They have an entire line, right?
Yeah.
Rabbit Hole has a whole line of this is aged in this and this is aged in that, and they're very different and dynamic as far as the flavors and everything else.
Right. That's one of the things that I found. So Rabbit Hole Derringer is number 2 with 1738.
Okay.
Remy Martin is there.
Do you have what's your best advice for a new cigar smoker, somebody who's just starting out?
New cigar smoker. First thing I would say is make sure you eat before you start smoking. Take your time and don't try to become an expert, because it took me about 3 years to find out what I actually came to like.
Mm-hmm.
Observe, and a lot of people are going to give you a lot of advice, and it's bad advice. A lot of cigar smoking advice is really bad advice because no one wants to say they're a beginning smoker.
Right.
So they want to act like an expert. They're going to tell you, you need this, you need that, you need this, you need that.
The thing I've always equated it to is cooking. Like everybody says that they're an expert at cooking.
Right.
Oh, you're going to cook wings? Here's how you need to cook wings. Do these 4 things. You go home and do the 4 things, and you're like, so they didn't come out. Well, I don't know what to tell you. You must not know how to cook wings then. That's why I came to you in the first place, because I didn't know how to cook wings.
Like potato salad with raisins in it.
Yeah. Speaking of violations, what's their biggest cigar rule violation that when you see it at a shop or somebody's at a lounge or even somebody over at the house smoking? What's the one thing that you hate?
The one thing that I despise is someone talking about cigars and they don't bring cigars. If you know you're going to a place that will possibly smoking cigars, bring your cigars with you.
Yeah.
Because, give you a quick story. I'm around people that think they know how to smoke. People that consistently smoke, probably smoke more cigars than me. They asked for a cigar. I looked at my box and I said, I can't give you one. Everybody was like, why won't you give him a cigar? I said, because I don't know what caliber he is. And they said, okay, but he can pick. So if I was to look in your box and I saw Opus Sex, Gurkha, Rocky Patel, Ashton, I'm not going to pick your most expensive cigar because that's etiquette. Somebody say, "Oh, that's an Opus X," and then let's say you give that person an Ashton, matter of fact, not just a regular Ashton, an ESG,
Yeah.
and you get them an Ashton ESG, and you're having a good time, and you're having your fun with your friends, and y'all are talking, you're watching maybe TV or listening to jazz, and you walk to go to the bathroom, and that $26 cigar that you gave that person, they have dumped out in an ashtray.
Oh,
They didn't even
punched out, and they smoked this much.
and they smoked that much.
Yep. And so
they're gone.
And so your enjoyment is now translated into their misuse and abuse of the said cigar.
That is correct.
Oh, I
so
despise it.
that is why
Yeah.
I have a problem with people that come to a cigar venue and don't have cigars.
What's the moment you felt like a real cigar smoker? When you were just like, you were sitting there with the fellas, or you were by yourself, and you were like, okay, I can really do this. Like you spoke earlier about it being about 3 years before you figured out kind of where your palate was at. Where was that moment where you're like, okay, I'm a real cigar smoker?
The moment I remember that I believed that I was a cigar connoisseur to a certain level was when I was sitting at the Tinderbox. Shout out to the Tinderbox, or whatever they call it now, the Waldorf Box Lounge. No disrespect, Raj. You're my man. That's my birthday twin. But a gentleman came and said, "There's some cigars back there, and they look like they molded. Looks like it's mold on it." And then a young lady, Elena, shout out to Elena, Miss E.L., and she explained to him what the mold was called plum.
Yeah,
plume.
Yep.
He didn't want to listen to a word she said. I explained to him. He didn't want to listen to me. He wound up leaving. Me, L, and someone else at the table explained to everybody around us what plume was.
Yeah.
And we went in that humidor and we bought every cigar in there that had plume on it. Some of the best smokes ever.
Yeah.
That's when I knew my craft.
Because your experience had met your education.
Mm-hmm.
And then that allowed you to elevate your experience.
And it was passed on, and it was actually true. Because how many times do you think that you're going to walk in a humidor and you see cigars just sitting there at regular price, that are boutique level, that have actual plume on?
Right.
It's rare.
Because the plume usually takes a fair amount of time in storage, proper storage, to get to that plume level where the sugars reactivate and they come up to the forefront on that wrapper tobacco.
Absolutely correct, whether it's in plastic or not.
Yeah, yeah.
And the funny part about it was, half the ones that were plume were Ashtons. So
which is your go-to?
That's my go-to.
We'll find out later. That's your go-to. So what was the last cigar that surprised you? That just like brought your focus to a different part of the texture of it? Like the wrapper was different. Like you saw it was a light cigar, and then when you lit it, you were like, "Oh man, I'm gonna sit down with this."
I would say, and you're gonna think this is funny. The cigar that gave me the best surprise was a gift from a friend.
Okay.
Don't recall the name, but it was a good cigar because it was something different for my palate that I didn't have.
Okay.
And I've learned this from you, actually. Went up New York. My daughter was playing basketball at the University of Albany. Always go into an establishment and get their hand rolled. And you'll learn a lot about hand roll.
Get what they have exclusively for that shop. What do you have here that nobody else has? What are you guys most proud of? What's a cigar that you would smoke behind the counter if you had a cigar to smoke? Because they're going to show you things that you might not even know that you
and would never get again.
Yep.
And on that note, make sure you get 2 to 3 cigars. Because if it's a good cigar, you want to have at least one more.
Right.
But if it's a bad cigar, you can give it to that person that didn't bring the cigar to the event.
So we talked about this earlier, but we're going to touch on it again. What's your favorite cigar?
My favorite cigar, Ashton ESG.
So the Estate Sungrown.
Yes, sir.
That wrapper, that top level wrapper that Fuente has, that they put on basically on the Opus X, but you can get it on a regular everyday cigar.
Yeah.
Wow.
Price level.
Yeah, no. It is priced. So side question: What's your limit as far as buying cigars? You will pay X for one cigar.
Depends on the mood. Depends on the environment. And if my wife is with me.
Outstanding. Is there accessory that you can't live without?
An accessory I can't live without. So the greatest thing that's been going on is the evolution of cigars and people making it more than a fad. You got to have the proper lighter. And now I have a lighter that has all the accessories on it.
Really?
It has the punches.
You got one of the Swiss Army lighters.
There you go.
Right. Where the tank is as big as your hand.
Those are the best.
Yeah.
And you tend to keep track of them more than you know, but I'll let the people know. I have an Opus X lighter that's $299. It stays in a box. Exquisite. Matter of fact, the only time I pull it out is when I'm wearing at least a two-piece suit.
Right.
I'm wearing a vest, cufflinks. Y'all know how I do.
The cufflinks go with the lighter, basically.
There you go. Right. It's all a unique experience, and you want to get the most out of whatever you do, and people are going to look at you a certain way. Mm-hmm. But being said, it's just a lighter, because all I can do is light punch with it. But the lighter I just got that my wife bought for me, mm-hmm. It has the punch levels on it. It has the clean smoke poker all the way through. Okay. It has 4 torches on it.
Wow.
And it has a V cut and a clean cut.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the one that if I'm going, and it's heavy enough that, you know, it's not easy for somebody to steal.
Yeah. That's an impressive tool, because they sell them separately so that we'll lose them separately, I believe. I believe that they sell like a small cutter and a small lighter so that we'll set them down and leave them and need to buy more of them. Have you ever met anybody in the cigar industry who impressed you epically? Who you were just like, man, this guy knows his mess? Because I know you met the Ashton people. I know you've met people from Foundation. I know you met Placencia. I know who you've met. So who is it that's impressed you?
I currently just met, actually, 2.5 months ago, Omar.
From Fratello.
For Fratello.
Yeah. He's actually lined up to do an interview next month. Okay. So that'll be real interesting.
Tell him I give him a shout out.
I will.
Warren from Shades of Faces. That's my guy.
So what was it about him that impressed you?
Openness.
Yeah.
But not saying this because this man is here, but whenever I need advice, this is my go-to guy. It's been 11 o'clock at night. I've called him.
You have actually called me at 11 o'clock. You don't answer at 12, which is weird, but you called me at 11.
Right.
Which is
because I'm doing something at 12.
So, full disclosure, he called me one time and said, okay, these are the cigars that are in the cigar bid. Are they worth it for this price? And we did a lot of Googling and a lot of requesting and everything else, and you came off with a pretty decent deal.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. So, I go through and I try to tell people, when you can call another expert, so to speak, and get some more expert advice, you're constantly learning.
Yeah.
And so when people get to talking, I let them get to talking. A lot of people say I'm chatty and this, that, and other thing. Got to get to know me to say that. But in the cigar world, it's a lot about etiquette. It's a lot about things that is good for one person is not good for another.
Right.
So don't try to take away what somebody likes. Like the one good thing that I've learned to get the openness out of a cigar and get it to stay more solid all the way around is I light the foot of my cigar first before I cut. Okay. I used to cut first. But guess what? Especially a lot of y'all are irritating fact. When you lighting and you using those torches, stop doing it directly on it because you're inhaling gas. Don't inhale gas.
You could even hold the lighter back from it and use the heat from the torch. Correct. And not the torch flame itself.
Because the hottest part of the flame is what? Hottest part of the flame, for those who don't know, is the part you can't see.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there anything that you want to ask me in closing? You have a question for me? Something that you've been asking before that we can get down on video footage?
Okay. There he is. When are you going to cement yourself firmly in the cigar world with something that says Josh?
Well, there are a lot of plans in place for said cementation. And I believe that this is going to be a conduit to communication and education. And I like to call this edutainment because it's going to be people who just started smoking can watch it and learn about your journey. People who have been smoking for a while can tune in and say, oh, I know, that's my guy Warren. Sigmas will be able to look up upon this and see one of their own answering questions, and then it'll be a conduit to that. And the expansion of this, like I told Ashley in our first interview, is to go to shops and interview the entire staff, to go down to factories and interview everybody who's in the factory. And then this will be the legacy that I leave, where you can come back and look at these videos 5 years from now, 10 years from now. And who knows, maybe, Shades of Faces will sponsor an episode or two, moving forward. And then we could have, that kind of outreach and that kind of footprint as well. So, I mean, there are things in place. This is one of many. But yeah, we're looking for getting the information and the knowledge out there and having the experience be more than just this. So there are more things in the works. There's a whole farm of options out there.
Good answer. And by the way, that was going to be the next statement I was going to make. That one of the next podcasts you see underneath him, you will see him wearing a Shades of Faces cigar series shirt, because Shades of Faces does have a cigar
And
series.
it's funny that you mentioned that, because I dress in all black and I usually take the band off the stick because I'm leaving all the options off. You want to put your name on my glass? Bet. You want me to have it on the sleeve? Here we go. You want the shirt knocked out? Cool. Because I believe that there are enough fiscal opportunities to sponsor this. And people say, oh, why do you need sponsorship? We'd like to go to a 3-camera setup. We'd like to travel down to Tampa and go to all the shops in Tampa and go to all the manufacturers in Tampa and just interview everybody in this same kind of setup. I'm very glad that 1865 has allowed me to use the space. We're actually open today here at 1865 before they even open for the day. So the staff came in. They're cooking your lunch right now and, turn the lights on and all the TVs on and everything else so we could have this setup. So it is a blessing to move through this. So I would gladly wear the Shades of Faces gear moving forward. So
shout out to 1865. Being from Washington, D.C. myself, it's great to have a business that thrives on things that people want. And a lot of people, that's why I'm pushing this young man right here to push forward, make his dreams come reality. And sponsorship is a form of support. The only person that's going to wear Shades of Faces every day is me, my family, and my business partner, Steve Hagan. Shout out, Steve. That's what people need to understand. So a little bit goes a long way. And when you're giving these little free things, that's called marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And if you like shows like this, that's how these streamers get big time. Subscribe.
Yep.
Show up for the events.
Like, comment. If you got somebody that you want to be interviewed, that you want to sit in this seat, that you think needs to be interviewed by me, then email us. Reach out to us on the message on YouTube. On YouTube, it's Frankly Cigars. And, I appreciate you coming out, Warren. I really do. And you guys don't understand the logistics of making this happen with Mr. Hayes. But let me just tell you, there was a lot of prayer and parking paying and punishment. And I'm very upset at Lyft for their surge pricing. But, it is what it is. So once again, I appreciate you, Warren. Thanks for hanging out with us today, man. And this has been Josh with Warren Hayes for Frankly Cigars.